everybody. This is Sal with Grow Your Garden with Sal, and I thank you very much for tuning in. Coming off of Halloween was so exciting. I hope everybody had a great Halloween. I just gave Joshua a Halloween bag, not full of candy, but full of sweet snacking peppers. It's 90 degrees. I think twice last week it's been 90 degrees. And in the garden, that means you can still grow some peppers and cucumbers if you've already got them in the ground. But I do not suggest going ahead and planting new peppers or another crop of tomatoes this late in the game, because I believe we're going to have a little Christmas snow. No, we probably won't have any Christmas snow, but I could dream about it. But I do have a high tunnel at my farm where I can prolong the season a little bit, and I can grow some of our hot weather crops. So the peppers still are going on. And continuing a little bit about what we were talking about last week, I was talking about one of the things I do on my farm that I've got in North Columbia. I train white homing pigeons for dove releases. And so if you're interested in dove release, definitely go to somebody like me. I think I'm the only person around in Columbia that does this, because my birds are trained to come back. And my company is called Love and Peace Dove Release. We've been doing it for 25 years. And I also have, so they're trained to come back. And we do weddings, funerals, all kind of different things with the doves. And they're real beautiful. And if you want to come out and see the doves today, I'm at the farm 11:30 to 3 today. We're also selling seeds. We don't have that many more plants left. Pretty much no plants left. But you can still plant your kale seeds. You can plant turnips, rutabaga, mustards, collards, rape, bok choy, and onions, and sugarcane. So if you've got a question, our phone lines are open. It's 803-799-8255. Again, that's 803-799-8255. So let's get some garden questions. And I had a garden question come in yesterday. They didn't want to be on the show, and that's okay. If you don't want your voice on the show, you can also text me or call me at the store, or call Joshua. Just tell him what you want to know, and then he can relay it to me. But hey, if I'm brave enough to be up here, y'all need to be brave enough to call me. I'm just kidding, but I really appreciate all the great garden questions. So I had a lady come in yesterday. She said she didn't want to really call the show, like I said, but she loves listening to the show, and I think she has a lovely voice. So if you want to call in, go ahead. We're all friendly around here. And she said that her leaves are curling on her collards. Now, most people got their collards in the ground. They're just now struggling a little bit in this heat. But she said her leaves are curling up. Now, leaf curl, the leaves are literally start curling in a little bit. And that is some sort of shock. Now, that can happen on any of your plants, your collards, your tomatoes, any plants. They curl up if there's a little bit of a shock going on. So now we got to figure out why are they shocked? They could be shocked because they got too much fertilizer. They could be shocked because of the heat. There's a lot of different things. So what I did, I asked her, I was like, I said, I think it's the heat. Anytime you have leaf curling, it's because some kind of shock. Well, what are you fertilizing with? And she said she's been using fish fertilizer. Now, I do like fish emulsion. My granddad used it forever. My dogs have rolled in it. Smells really great. If you don't know what fish emulsion is, it's pretty much chopped up fish that's fermented, and you mix it with water. And Joshua, you don't want fermented fish, Joshua?
That sounds like it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever heard. Is that like fish food? I mean, is it made for gardening?
It is made for gardening, yes. So pretty much you chop up a lot of fish. The old timers used to use the parts that they didn't eat, put in a bucket, leave it for a few days with water, and then, yes, pour it on the plants.
That's got to smell a little bit, don't you think?
Oh, my border collie got into it one time. And y'all, tomato juice and fish emulsion, no, people like, you need to wash her in tomato juice. That didn't work. It just turned her red. So now I have a red smelly dog. So that was like a lot of fun. But it took it literally took a week to get the smell off of it.
What does that do for a plant? I mean, it just gives it nutrition?
Yeah, so fish emulsion is high nitrogen. And high nitrogen grows the foliage. It doesn't have a whole lot of phosphorus and potash in it. Phosphorus grows the stems and the blooms. Nitrogen grows the leaves, and potash is more for the roots. So if you're putting a whole lot of fish emulsion, fish guts in there, is overkill. So if you have greens in the garden, you are eating the greens, so you do want nitrogen. But number one, don't put it right on the leaves. I hear people say all the time, foliage feed. Foliage feed is actually feeding through the leaves, and I don't know when there ever was, fish guts dropping out of the sky onto your plants. So that's another way you can burn up your plants. I personally do not suggest foliage feeding with fish emulsion. So you can feed with the fish guts.
I'm still baffled by that whole idea. That can't be common in South Carolina, is it really?
It is. The old people used to cut up a fish and put it up under every tomato plant.
Really?
Yeah. So if you think about it, it's just organic stuff that's rotting down, going back into the soil. Now, it is not my favorite because I've got dogs. A lot of people got raccoons in the neighborhood. So if you want the raccoons to be super happy, that would, put out a bowl of fish emulsion. Yeah. It's got a place.
Yeah.
Maybe once a month, not on top of the leaves, just behind it or beside it, and really pay attention to how you're diluting it, because it's really, really, really strong. A lot of people try to put it on straight, and that's going to burn up your crops and cause some of that leaf curl. So I think that's what she's got going on, because she said she's been putting the fish guts, or the fish emulsion is what it's called.
What's an easier, sort of way to do that other than the fish guts? Because that can't be easy to... other than catching fish,
you can buy the fish emulsion in the store.
Okay.
You can do that. But yeah, it's icky, it's smelly. I like to use Expoma Organic Tomato Tone. It's just super easy, and the tomato tone, if you read the writing, it says tomato and vegetables, and that's going to cover all your bases. We also have a really cool way of fermenting vegetable scraps, weeds. On my YouTube channel, you can go to Grow Your Garden with Sal, and you can get the complete directions. But essentially, it's just everything you throw away, far as your food, vegetable, not meat. No fish heads in this. You could use fish heads, but I...
Is that not just compost?
No. So compost is similar. Compost is when you take the fertilizer and the microorganisms have eaten it down and it turns into soil. Fertilizer, the microbes are still hungry, so the fertilizer is actually feeding the microbes. And we'll touch base with that when we come back after this break. Thank you so much. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Sal at Grow Your Garden with Sal, and I'm here with Joshua. And we were just talking about the difference between compost and fertilizer. So compost is organic matter that the microbes have ate and pretty much pooped out. So now the microbes are still hungry. So fertilizer is actually the organic matter that hasn't been digested yet. And by fermenting the items like your vegetable scraps, weeds and different things like that, fermenting them with some yeast or a little bit of beer in some water for a few days, that's kind of making the fertilizer or making your stuff kind of like pre-chewed. You're pre-chewing it for the microbes. So it's just breaking down a lot quicker. And the water breaks it down. You put it into the soil and you can just hear your microbes going, "Yay, thank you for feeding me."
But wait a second here. During the break, you told me that you can buy these fish guts, I'll just say, this fish product, we'll just say, at Lowe's, you think like
Yes,
it's like
yes.
a normal thing that I've never heard of.
It is a normal thing. Yes, it is very, very. And everybody's grandparents used to do it. So because way back when you didn't go to the store and you used what you had, and they ate a lot of fish apparently.
So like, will it smell if I use it in my, just let's say, my raised garden at home? Will it smell?
Yes.
Okay, so
It is. And there are, most things smell a little bit with the garden, but that's like,
but
the top 10 stinky.
right.
It's not my favorite thing to do. If somebody wants some, I can order it for them, but, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I think we have a caller online,
Jose.
too.
Jose, you there?
Hello? Yes, I am.
Hey, Jose.
How you doing, Sal?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic. What you got going on in the garden today?
Well, I put down some onion bulbs and stuff like that, and I tried growing them previously in the class, and it never worked out. Nothing happened, and then I know you have your classes, and I attended one of your classes, the onion and garlic, and I'm like, man, I gotta know this thing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, and a lot of times, people try gardening and they'll try something, and then they'll say, I don't grow. I don't have a green thumb. I tried. But
Yes.
you ever I thought to myself, I said, maybe I'm doing it wrong, and maybe you're doing it wrong, because they say there's a process, to the madness, right? But
Never blame the onions.
No, exactly. So it's like, when I took the class, and I'm like, that's it? You mean I was burying them things, waiting for the little thing to come out green, and it's completely the wrong way to do it. Well, I never got onions, and I tried. And then now after I took up when I attended one of your classes, I got yellow onions, white onions, and purple, red onions. They're popping out everywhere. They're sitting right on the soil now, and they're just happy, and they're popping out, and they have that green top to them, and I'm just pretty excited about that. So, like,
oh my gosh, you guys share some new pictures, because you sent me a video, about 2 weeks ago after you planted them?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, I bet they're looking great now.
Yeah, they're looking great. They got some have some flat leaf kale growing around them. Others have some mixed vegetable growing around them, cauliflower, whatever. So I put them everywhere. Now they just sit on top of the soil, so I put them everywhere. It also kind of caused me to kind of look a little bit to it, the different kinds of onions and and stuff like that, and what they're used for, or vice versa. People will say, "Oh, I don't like onion because it's a strong flavor." It depends which one, because they're different. Some have a mild flavor taste, others have a strong, others a medium, stuff like that. So
and a lot of that's got to do with the temperature too. How hot it is out. A lot of that's got a lot to do with the temperature. The hot area it is outside. Like if you went outside and you picked some of the onions now after it's been, we had a hot week. They're going to taste a little bit spicier than if you waited until it got cooler.
Correct. And they say the white ones are the more milder ones, whereas the red ones is the more ones that have a more kick or strong to it. But the white ones, you can just kind of even cut some of them up, and they say soak them in water between 20 minutes to even an hour, and they'll take that astringent flavor out of them.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
You won't have that sharp bite, but you'll be left with a sweet crunch,
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, that's pretty cool for somebody who's tried that onions are too strong for them. But hey, if you want that sweet crunch to it, you just let it soak them in water, and that'll extract that hot kick to them and stuff. So I didn't know that. So, but white
I didn't either. Thank you.
On that. So
yeah, and a lot of people.
Onions are the normal.
Yeah, they're so easy to grow. Once you learn that they go right on top of the soil and not buried up under the soil. That's the number one problem I see. And also people try to start onions by seeds. In order to start by seeds, you need cool weather and long sunlight hours, and we just do not have that in the South. So it's a lot better to go ahead and get the bulbs. They're already, partially there, about a fourth way grown, and plant those instead of the seeds. Now, if you want to plant seeds, push the envelope, have fun with it, but don't count on getting an onion real soon if you plant them by seeds.
Yes. And I noticed that too. Like I'll plant a couple of bulbs, things like onion and chives
Mm-hmm.
in my strawberry bed, and boy, does it help because it kind of like they're looking happy and green, and the leaves doesn't look like they're being messed with by other pests and stuff. So I'm like, wow.
They keep the
So
bugs off of things
that was,
too. That's probably why you
yeah,
planted it
so,
around your kale, right?
yeah. I put them around in the strawberry bed too, and then that kind of helps out. They're looking all the leaves are looking green and stuff. They don't look like they've been messed with a lot, you know. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
always having either chives or onions in there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Do you pick them? Do you wait for your onions to get really big and pick them, or do you use them as spring onions, or you do kind of both, or do you cut the greens? Because
I'll
they're
do
so
both.
versatile.
I do both. We just love onions so much. It's like we always say that we can't grow enough onion and garlic because we'll use that like almost every day. So it's like,
Oh my.
so it's like we'll pick a smaller one. I say, sorry, kid, you gotta go. We need some today. So others will just may forget and they get time to get bigger. But before, when I wasn't doing it right, you know, I would stick my hands in the dirt and I'm like, what? This thing is still the same little tiny size. This thing is not growing. Something's wrong. So I'm like, I was, you know, frustrated and kind of giving up on that. But I'm like, I can't give up on onion. I love onion so much. I want to be able to grow it myself, you know. So
I tell you
and
something. I'd tell you something really funny. So I was working. I get a lot of odd jobs on the off season, and one of the jobs I get is helping people host parties. You know, parking, bartending, pretty much anything. Not anything, but within reason. And so I was helping out at this party, and the caterers were coming in, and I was really surprised to get the directions that they do not allow onions or garlic in their house. Nothing
wow.
with onions and garlic. Now, this person gets my box, and this box I noticed an hour before the party was sitting out, and she hadn't planted anything. So I opened the box. This is before I found out about the onion and garlic. And I went out to her porch, and she has a porch that opens up into another porch. And I put the onions and garlic all in their houseplants. And then I come in, and they gave me the directions, like no garlic, no onions are allowed in the house. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Because I could find the onions, but I couldn't find the garlic because the garlic was down in the houseplants.
On the ground. They've been buried. What?
I'm like, they are going to kill me when the garlic starts coming up. I might have just
Oh
told on
my
myself. I wonder if I'm like, I don't know if we could be friends if you don't eat onions and garlic. I'm like,
Oh my God.
No, but that was hilarious. I guess they didn't like the smell, but man, I don't even
Right.
hardly get any mosquitoes because of the amount of onions and garlic I eat. It might be why I hadn't got a
that's
date in a
good.
while either. But yeah, and no vampires.
Yeah, right?
Jose, while I got you on the line, what else you got growing out there?
Oh man, I got this the broccoli now and turnips and got some of the and sweet pea, the bush ones growing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got in buckets, a 5-gallon bucket, believe it or not. I'm doing carrots. So I'm doing
Ooh.
the gold nugget carrots, and then also the red ruby carrot,
Ooh.
and also the shorty sweet carrot. And it's a funny thing. Before I even started this whole growing carrot thing, I thought all carrots were orange, and now I found out like what purple and red and yellow carrots.
And
Like,
they were
multicolors.
they were originally purple, and some king bet somebody, I can't even remember the whole story, y'all can Google it, that he could breed the purple out of the carrot and make it orange. So orange really isn't an original carrot color. And I'm still amazed about how much people knew, I think, I'm thinking this happened around the 1400s, 1500s. I mean, they didn't know anything about genetics, but I feel that they know more than even me with all the computers and stuff and everything. These people knew more. I don't know how to breed an orange carrot or a purple carrot into an orange carrot. Isn't
Yeah,
that
yeah, that's the
amazing?
thing. Yeah, I never knew. I never when it came to the colors, I thought it was just orange because that's okay. Yep, orange carrots is all I ever seen in on the Bugs Bunny show and in the supermarkets. So like the supermarkets will give you the orange ones. So like now, but I am growing different colors. I'm looking forward to that on that. They're starting to sprout up. I'm seeing some green leaves coming up and stuff on that, and that's coming out good.
And you
So,
can
and then of course
still,
I got a lot of fruit trees. So.
yeah, and you can still also, you can still plant carrots. It's just with the hours going lower, they're not going to grow as quick. But carrots are one of the things like onions that you can eat at any size. You can eat them if they're like, 3 inches, 4 inches. You can wait till they get big. And kids really eat what they grow, and they get really excited about the different colors. I mean, there's purple, yellow, white, red. What's another? We're fixing to go to break, but what's another color?
Yeah, just the purple, red, yellow, and I think the 3 colors on them on that.
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, but I know that they say that the longer that they're in the cool weather, stuff like that, the sweeter they're gonna be.
Yes, that's true. That's true with most of it. And we'll be back after the break. Thank you, Jose. Hey, y'all. Welcome back. We had some great questions from Jose. And if you want to call, we don't bite, especially through the radio. So give us a call at 803-799-8255.
Speak for yourself.
I know, right? 803-799-8255 if you have a question. And I think Joshua had a little question.
Yeah, so we were talking about the fish emulsion.
I know.
Is that what you're talking? That's the word?
Are you going to
Emulsion.
leave here and get a fish sandwich?
I'm definitely not. I don't like seafood, and especially after this conversation. But my question is we talked about that. I mean, that's, I guess, a natural fertilizer. Mm-hmm. A lot of people go to the store and buy these bags of fertilization. I know I've done it multiple times for like our grass at the house. What are some other natural fertilizers other than like a compost or what we were talking about? What is a natural way to fertilize your plants?
Your plants?
Yeah.
The tomato tone is definitely organic. It's easy peasy to use. But we also have a way that you can ferment your vegetable scraps. It's really easy to do. It's not as smelly as fish emulsion, but it's a little bit smelly. So what you do, like if you're cutting up some tomatoes, the parts that you don't use, throw it in a bucket. Banana peels. If you cut the grass, raking up the the litter. You can add anything green in there. Stay away from meat products because, like I said, the raccoons really can do some damage and get into it.
So when you talk about the like vegetable scraps and fruit scraps and everything, let's say I want to use a banana peel.
Yeah.
How would I do that? Would I just literally grind it up and toss it in the thing?
You
or
can
would
do
I
that.
mix it up with the mold or with dirt? How would I do it?
Yeah, there's a couple different ways to do it. You could actually bury it right in the soil. My favorite thing to do is fermenting. So if you're on city water, you have chlorine.
Right.
Chlorine kills the microbes. So if you have city water, take the water, let it sit out for 8 hours. That's going to take all the chlorine out. And then you can take your banana peels, tomato peels, weeds. I have a 5-gallon bucket, and I'm steadily putting weeds when I pull them into that bucket. That's food. Those weeds are all your chemicals that's in the ground.
So it might sound a little unknowledge. Okay.
Yeah, no.
Let me back up. If I put those weeds into my garden, is that not going to grow weeds into my garden?
Well, you're going to ferment them. So
it's gonna kill the plant, but the nutrition's still gonna help my garden.
Yes. So it's kind of like going into a certain some restaurants that old people go and you can kind of the food is pre-chewed.
But
and this is like pre-chewing the food for the microbes.
Like, okay, so with your program, when you give out the boxes and you have these classes, you'll teach them you'll teach the listeners or your subscribers or whoever how to do this stuff, right?
Yes. So you can sign up at growyourgardenwithsal.com, and sign up for some classes. And all the classes are very, very hands-on.
Yeah.
Very hands-on.
Well, I mean, it sounds like that because, I mean, listen, you gave me these beautiful peppers this morning and cucumbers, right?
Yes.
I mean, I couldn't do that if
Without
you gave me $1,000 without fish. Okay, good. Because honestly, I don't think if I had to use the fish,
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't even eat it. I mean, I wouldn't. I couldn't do it. I don't think I could.
Now, the fermented compost, the fermented scraps, what you do is you leave it in non-chlorinated water for about 3 days. And most importantly, you put a little bit of beer in there too, or yeast. That's going to help start breaking everything down. And then you can water twice a week with this concoction. And I also have a good YouTube video. If you're out of town, you can't make it to the classes, go to our YouTube videos, Grow Your Garden with Sal. It's got a picture of Junebug in front of about a 4-foot squash plant on that video. It's how to make your own fertilizer. I think a lot of homesteaders, especially, because, if we get into a bind where we can't get to the store, you're going to have to use what you can do to feed your plants.
Yeah. Well, I think it's definitely a good way to start, is just using the natural one. I mean, will they work the same? Or does the natural versions, like doing it yourself, is that probably a better, more... What's a better... Is it better to take these... I wouldn't say... not natural, but like these bags of fertilizer from the store. That's like from the big names.
And I think you're talking more like 10-10-10, like the chemical fertilizers versus the more, okay.
Yeah, but like plant food is like, I'm talking about where you get the bags of that you like spray it on or whatever. Is it better to do the natural version, or is it better to buy the bags of it from the store? Okay,
so the most important thing is to build healthy soil and to feed those microorganisms. 10-10-10, the chemical fertilizers like Osmocote, they actually feed the plant. They just dissolve down and then the plant can eat them. But that's breaking the cycle, and that's why I like the natural stuff. Because then the microbes are adjusting your pH for your plants. They're breaking the stuff down as needed, and you can't hardly over-fertilize going natural. You can with the fish emulsion.
Well, and also, you can't, I mean, I just think that if I'm growing food, I wouldn't want to put that stuff in my food. Just the smell of it, I'm not saying that the fish, that probably smells bad too, but... I'd rather have the natural stuff that I've actually put in and done myself than put this bags where we don't know where that's been. I mean, but I know it grows and it's in the outside, so it's not like it's the cleanest thing. You obviously have to clean your fruits and vegetables and everything, but...
And also, you got the runoff. Like, if you put the 10-10-10, the 10-10-10 dissolves real quick. It's kind of a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
And then your plants are hungry again.
Right.
So, yes, I go with the natural. I do sell. There is a place for, like, 16-4-8 slow release is good for your lawns. Different things like that. There's a place for chemicals. I'm not saying don't use them, but natural is always going to be better.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. We do have a call. Do you want to go ahead and take that now? Yeah, it's from Tony.
Tony.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing today, hon?
I am good. I was calling. I have a pest in my garden that is eating the food that I want.
Oh, no.
I think I know what it might be, but just trying to get your input on it and find out if I'm right or if I'm completely off base. So this year something has ate a lot of my potatoes and a lot of my sweet potatoes, and I mean hollowed them out.
Oh, wow. And like up under the ground? Like not the leaves,
yes,
but the...
Not the leaves, the actual potatoes.
Yeah.
And just recently I transplanted a couple of strawberries back out into a bed out of a pot. And I noticed a couple of them were missing, and I went out and I realized that something is eating the strawberry plants as well and pulling them down under the ground.
Yes. So when you pull up the strawberry plants, when you saw that they had a problem, you pulled them up. Were there any roots left?
There's nothing left. They pulled them down. They're gone.
They're gone. Yeah. So I think that you have 2 issues going on. You've got grub worms, and moles eat the grub worms, and the voles use the mole holes, so they could go eat your plants too. Yes. So I had the same problem. The wood chip gardening sounds really good. I love using wood chips, but they do promote voles and grub worms, which brings in the moles, which brings in the voles. So one of the things you can do, and this is what I've done, I start planting in wire baskets, and then they cannot get in there. That might not be able. You might not be able to do that with sweet potatoes. But you're probably going to either have to line your bed with some wire or start planting in some pots. But yeah, they make these little wire baskets. They're really, really cheap. I actually got it off Amazon because there's just nobody local to buy from around here. I think it was like $50 for maybe like $25, and you can plant in those baskets in the ground, and the roots can go out from the basket, but the voles can't get to the main meat of the plant.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be moles, but I didn't even think about voles around
Well,
here,
the moles eat the grub worms, so it's not the moles, it's the voles.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so the moles are helping you out if it wasn't for those voles. I tell you, if Adam didn't eat the apple, I think we would.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to worry about it.
Thanks, Tony.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
I'll figure out what to do with them.
Right. Try that and let me know if it works.
Yeah, that's an interesting case right there. And you said you've had that issue before?
Yeah, so I plant inside my high tunnel, and you have to plant in the ground per government regulations for a high tunnel.
What's a high tunnel?
A high tunnel essentially is a hoop house. It's kind of like a greenhouse, but no electricity, and you plant inside the ground. Yeah, and what it does is it helps you to get your summer plants started early, and then it also prolongs the season a little bit later. There's no heat in it, so if you get a real cold freeze, the nighttime temperatures are going to be the same in the high tunnel. And I have put propane heaters out here and there, but it's just really expensive to actually. But yes, in my high tunnel, the second year I planted in there, plants were wilting. And the first thing people think is, oh my gosh, you got wilt. Well, first of all, that's mainly in tomatoes. So if other things are doing that too, it's probably going to be a vole problem. I suggest when you see something wilting, walk out there, pull the plant straight up. If you don't have any roots, that is what happened. The voles and the grubs got in there and they ate. And hadn't had that problem after planting them in the wire basket. So they can still snack on the roots, but they can't actually get down and eat the whole plant. Yes, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting because, I mean, I have a bunch of deer that we have rose bushes back in our back there, and the deer come and just tear them up. So yeah, we have a lot of animals that like to eat down here.
Yeah,
I guess everywhere, but can't steal our food. That's not nice.
Yeah, deer are definitely a big problem too. And so if y'all want to attend some of our classes, sign up at growyourgardenwithsal.com. salslocalseed.com is also get you to the same place. Sign up for some of those classes. We also have our classes on YouTube, so check out our channel. Hit that like if you can, because it just sends it to a lot more people. And then we want to get everybody growing, everybody eating healthier. And even if you live in an apartment, I mean, onions are so easy to grow. Probably one of my favorite things.
What classes do you have coming up?
So we're going to have an onion class coming up, and we've got a really exciting herb class. I believe it's next Sunday with Carrie, our witch doctor. She's going to bring in a bunch of different herbs. You're going to get to make tinctures, ask her a bunch of questions. I'm really excited by that. So we bring in other people too. Another class, it's Katrina with the mushrooms. So yeah, sign up, and I'll talk to you soon. Hi, welcome back to Grow Your Garden with Sal, and I'm here with Joshua, and he just informed me that his favorite thing to eat is peppers, and he is super excited about growing them, and he had a couple questions for me.
Well, I want to mention the first part is that I'm 17. Let me first mention that. Okay, so
17 going on 30. He is like amazing.
So, but in the past when we've done stuff for school or for just in general at the house, just the planting has, not only is it good for your health, but it's good for just in your head because you're doing it. It's like farm. It's backyard to table. It's not
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Even if you're in an apartment, it can still be done.
Yeah, and it's something about the smelling that dirt actually is proven to calm you down. This is something that we wouldn't be here if people hadn't started gardening.
Yeah.
And the food is so much healthier for you, and it's so much it fills you up a lot quicker. My favorite thing to eat is potatoes, and I ran out of my own potatoes.
Yeah.
They actually started sprouting again, so I had to replant them, and I've been getting some from the store, and they're awful. They taste like absolutely nothing, and because they have nothing in there. They're fed with the chemical fertilizers and not getting all the minerals and the vitamins. Even corn now. We used to sell deer corn. I don't anymore. I'm too old to pick up the bags. But each year, the protein content in the corn is going down, down, down. And also with what you're getting in the store, too, because they're trying to grow it really, really, really quick. And growing it quick, it's not uptaking the living soil. It's using chemicals, and it's just not healthy. And you can taste that. You can taste it.
Yeah. Well, beginner gardeners. Okay. The season, because I don't really know. We're going to talk about beginning because there's probably millions of variants of things you can plant.
Yes.
But I want to go on the main gardening over the season. So we'll start in the spring, I guess. Yeah. What are a couple of things that beginners can plant out coming up this spring?
Okay,
get ready for?
So we have a very unique growing climate in South Carolina. We can pretty much grow year round. And you've got the cool weather stuff, you've got your cold weather stuff, you got your warm weather stuff, and your some like it hot, hot, hot weather stuff. So we have a very long, we just about have 6 months of cool weather, kind of, sort of. It's up and down. And 6 months of summer weather. So right now from September, when it cools down, all the way until March, you can plant your winter stuff. And that's going to be your greens, your collards, your cabbage, your broccoli, turnips, onions, definitely you can eat. Do you like any of the greens? Lettuce?
Oh, yeah. I mean, no, I like it all, I guess. I mean, only thing I won't eat is Brussels sprouts, but...
No Brussels sprouts? I bet you would if you got fresh ones. Out of the garden. They are amazing. Totally different than what's in the frozen package. Like, completely different. And lettuce... Somebody please bring this man some Brussels sprouts when you get them. Bring them up to my farm, and I'll make sure he gets some. And we'll definitely do a taste test. And then you got to wait for the ground to warm up. And so closer to May, you're going to be onto your peppers and your tomatoes. You want to get those in when the ground starts warming up, but you want to get them in so they don't, you want to wait so they don't get hit by frost, because if they get hit by frost, they're going to be weak plants. So you can plant your summer stuff starting around May according to the weather. It's almost like for the last, I'd say 5 years, the season's been pushed a month. We used to plant May 1st. May 1st is usually kind of cold still. So your summer stuff is going to be like your squash, your zucchini, all different kind of peppers. I mean, I bet there's 1,000 different peppers you can plant. And some really, really hot ones like Carolina Reapers. Have you ever tried those?
Unfortunately. One time I was in a hot sauce. It was in a food. It was on like a chip. Mm-hmm. I did not know it was Carolina Reaper. I thought it was just like some kind of regular sauce, and my friend put Carolina hot sauce or whatever it is. So yeah, it was hot, but tasted good.
Tastes good. You could take it?
Kind of. With a gallon of milk.
With a gallon of milk. Oh my God.
They're hot, but so going through the seasons, what is like, I want to do 2 plants for each season. So spring, like, what are your top 2 plants for the spring?
Probably in March, I would say broccoli and collards.
Okay. Yes. Summer.
Summer, tomatoes, and of course peppers.
Yeah. And
Yes.
fall.
Fall, probably the top two is going to be broccoli and collards again. We like our collards in the South a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And winter.
Wintertime, you
Well,
can grow.
we don't really have a winter. But
We really don't have much of a winter. And the good thing about your winter greens like collards, cabbage, and rapé, I bet you would love rapé. Oh my gosh, it's like just a really sweet green. As soon as I get some grown, I'm gonna have it out here for you.
okay.
But if the frost hits this stuff, it tastes so much better. The collards taste sweeter. Really, really sweet. And another thing is that the winter garden's a lot easier because you don't have the bugs normally. If it gets hot,
Yeah.
like this last week, you're going to start seeing them come out again. And it's cut and come again. I mean, you can just keep walking out there and cutting, and every 4 to 6 weeks, the collards are going to come back. The lettuce is going to come back.
And so we were talking during the break before. It can be kind of tough to grow your garden because a lot of people come home from work and they just want to be done. They want to feed their kids chicken nuggets and fries, or you just want to sit down. But it's so much healthier.
It is so much healthier to get out there. It's almost like going to the gym. You're like, I really don't want to go, but once you get out there, you feel so much better. And I tell people to start off small. Make sure that you can fit your lifestyle in with the garden. Doing raised beds, planting in pots are going to keep you from having to weed all the time.
What are some things that you can plant in a pot? Because, I mean, if I can put it up on my porch and just plant onion.
Yeah, onions and lettuce, kale do good, pretty good in about a 2-gallon pot. The rapé does good like that. Collards, cabbage, broccoli, you're probably going to need at least a 5-gallon pot for. But there's a lot of your stuff that you can grow in a smaller. Now, when you get into the summer stuff, peppers and tomatoes, they really need, I'd say, at least a 10-gallon pot. So that's when you're going to get into needing some bigger pots. But always go small to start with. Invest in soil. People come and they get trays and trays and trays of plants. But if you don't have soil, you don't have good, healthy, living soil, it's not going to grow.
Yeah, well, and your soil, it should be able to go over multiple years. You shouldn't have to. You should keep it up. You shouldn't have to buy another bag of fertilizer and restart it every year. You should be able to keep it going all year. That's the idea, at least, right?
Yeah. So it's we sell Sun Grow, and we tell people to mix it with black cow, which is a manure, but it doesn't stink like
manure is not something I want to hear when I'm talking about food, but
it's that's what grows. That's what grows your garden. So it's initial cost up front. The Sun Grow, we actually got a pre-booking sale on it right now. So if you pre-book for 2025, you get 10 bags for $200. It is an initial cost. You can get a bag today for $22. Black Cow is $8.50. The Sun Grow is an initial cost, but then you don't have to keep adding that. It's a premium potting soil, but you do have to keep adding in the compost each time you replant, because your plants are pretty much a chemical factory. They're taking all those chemicals out of the soil and making a plant for you. And by chemicals, I mean nitrogen, potash. I don't mean radiation or something like that. But it's taking all that out of the soil, and then you're eating all that good stuff. But you have to keep putting it back in there, or they're going to starve.
Well, we could probably
grow.
talk about this for hours, but it's so important. I mean,
It is.
And we could talk about this probably next week, but just it's hard because if you don't have the time, what's the best thing to do? Because if you can't promise you can do, let's just say an hour a month, because you probably need more than that. We'll just be real.
Yeah, you need probably about 15, 20 minutes every day at least if you have a few pots. I would say pots are the way to go. You can put them up on the porch.
Probably take out some of the weed. You won't have to do a bunch of weeds and stuff, but
yes.
I think that's something we could probably talk about for hours because it can be hard, but it's probably worth it.
It's definitely
worth
it. Because the number one thing I see is people not investing in soil, planting right into the ground, and it does not work. And if you want to talk more about soil today, I'm going to be at the farm at 11:30 to 3. It's at 113 Hilltop Drive in Columbia. We're 15 minutes from Lexington, 15 minutes from Columbia, 15 minutes from the Northeast. So it's a really fun trip. You can come out, meet the doves, and let me show you my soil and come out and get some seeds. And
will you do a mock dove release for me if I come up there?
I can totally do it. Yes,
that'd be fun.
I actually got to get some doves here for a funeral home in about an hour. So
well, we'll talk about that next week. But yeah, it was great talking, and yeah, we'll talk about it I guess next week. And
yes,
grow your garden, because that's the best thing you can do.
It is. Thank y'all for tuning in, and everybody, let's get growing. Thank you so much.
Got me some sugar cane, some sugar cane, baby, yeah.